There have been a lot of questions surrounding the Lakers at this moment of the NBA offseason, and I myself, as a Laker fan, have tried to answer those questions, but it is probably some of the toughest questions you can have. So one of the biggest things with the Lakers, and one of the things that has been emphasized the most over this offseason, is, are the Lakers going to make the playoffs? Of course, I hope they make the playoffs. They have no chance at getting a draft pick next year. They are, no matter what happens, they do not have a pick. So I obviously will hope they will do the absolute best they can. But when it comes to making the playoffs, it's not like they're getting a 1 through 5 seed. Those have almost been locked. This team is young. This team needs experience. This team can be great in around 4 to 5 years, but rebuilding takes patience. Remember, the Celtics were having horrible years, but it took patience and just rebuilding and draft after draft after draft. So the Lakers are young. They have a lot to learn. They're really inexperienced at the moment. They have on paper, they have a great team. They've got Ball, they've got Clarkson, they've got Lopez, they've got Randall, they've got Nance. I mean, they've got Ingram, they've got Vanderblue, who I think is very overlooked. But they've got a great team. I know I'm missing some players. In there, but they really have a team that you don't know if they're going to have chemistry yet. And how the West looks after this past offseason is just overwhelming. I mean, even the Timberwolves have gained a great team. The way that the playoffs also next year are going to work it's going to be very interesting. The East have, in my opinion, they have 3 good teams. And the West are just overloaded. And there's never going to be something where they switch conferences, but I'll go into that in another video. But going back to the Lakers, the Lakers are in an odd position here where it seems like they have a lot of hype surrounding them to be good, but this is a team that was the second worst team in the NBA last year, or the third worst team in the NBA. This is a team that was the third worst in the NBA. They have gained 3 players from the draft. They have gained Anthony Bryant, they have gained Josh Hart, they've gained Lonzo Ball. They've gained 3 players. 2 of them, Kyle Kuzma as well. They've gained 4 players, 3 of which you have no idea how we're going to perform with Hart, Kuzma, and Bryant. And Lonzo Ball, you also don't know how he's going to perform, but he's got a little bit more of an edge over those people. He's got a little bit more talent. So, I mean, you've got players here that have never played one game in the NBA, and they're being looked at as a team that could possibly make the playoffs next year. Yes, it's possible, but this team needs more experience. This team needs more of a leader. Luol Deng is not going to be the type of leader that you want. Yes, they freed up cap space, which is huge with that Mozgov contract. They have the potential to afford 2 superstars next year. One maybe even being LeBron James, one being his name's slipping out. Maybe Carmelo, but very, very unlikely. But, I mean, they have the potential to afford 2 superstars. Paul George, that's what I was thinking of. But the Lakers are in a sticky position where you just need to be patient as a Laker fan. Quick rebuilds are never one for a length of time. They're never a rebuild where you are going to instantly be a success. The Warriors took 40 years to win another championship, and they took, I don't even know how long to finally rebuild a good team, but it took a while. It takes a lot of patience. And the Lakers, that's exactly what they need. They need a couple more years of looking for other superstar players, or just looking to get some draft picks and just keep building a team. Their team is young, but they have young talent. Their starting lineup alone, I think, is enough to compete with almost any other team. Ball, Lopez, Randall, depending on who starts as shooting guard and who starts as small forward. Kuzma may start. Clarkson may start as a shooting guard. Nance may even get a couple starts in there as a small forward, but that's very unlikely. It just depends on really where this team kind of sits at the start of the season and towards the middle of the season. One more thing to talk about is just the way that Luke Walton will be interpreted as a coach. Brandon Ingram as a small forward. And then as a shooting guard will just be yet to determine. They still have Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, who should be the shooting guard, in my opinion. So with back to this one more time, with Lonzo Ball, Pope, and then Ingram, Randall, and Lopez, that is a solid starting lineup. And last year, what killed them was their depth. They were always leading these games into the fourth quarter and would just blow it. But now they've got Clarkson off the bench. They have got Zubac, who is doing very well in Summer League, off the bench. They've got Nance, Bryant, even Tyler Ennis, Kuzma, Brewer, and one player that I don't really like myself, but he's pretty solid, Alex Caruso. I'm not a huge fan of him, but it's whatever. But anyway, Luke Walton does not get a good reputation when, honestly, I think he's done very well with what he's got so far. But yeah, I mean, with Magic Johnson in the office and with Rob Pelinka, interesting to see what the Lakers do. Once the NBA season starts, I can definitely go more in depth, and in that preseason, I'll go more in depth. But that's going to be the end of the video. If you like this video, please leave a like. If you subscribe down below, and leave a comment on what you would like me to do next. But for now, guys, this is going to be the end of the video.